to the cloud. And today's assistant instructor is Diane. Diane, are you there?
Yeah,
Hey, Diane, how are you?
I'm good. And yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. So, Diane, why don't you start us off by sharing with us a little bit about yourself?
Um, I'm not that interesting, but I like watching movies. I'm into Marvel a lot. Recently just watched all of them in chronological order. I love cats. I prefer cats, and I'm a cat mom. And yeah, pretty much
Awesome. How many cats do you have?
just one.
Just one. Okay, great. And what is his or her name?
Suki, her.
Suki, her. Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So you already shared a few fun facts about yourself, and I want to talk about Marvel because I am not very knowledgeable about even what that is. So you said you watched all the movies. So like, how many movies are there in the Marvel set?
That I don't know. I didn't count, but they have like Iron Man. They have
Uh-huh.
the Iron Man movies. I believe there's like three of them. There's the Thor movies. There's the Guardians of the Galaxy, and so on.
Oh, very cool. So you definitely a good variety.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you for sharing, Diane. And what is a question that you want to propose to our group on this fine Monday morning?
Um, if you could have any pet, any animal as a pet, what would it be?
Mm. All right. So in the chat box, any animal as a pet, what would it be? And what would you pick, Diane?
I would pick, I think, a panther, a black panther.
A Black Panther. Yeah, those are pretty cool.
Yeah. And you?
You know, it's funny. I actually heard before that skunks are like the perfect pet if you get their sprayer removed because they can actually go in a litter box like a cat, but they have
Oh,
the same companionship as like a dog. Like they'll sit on your lap, let you pet them. So I'm like, oh, that would be interesting.
that's
So
interesting.
yeah, I'm
Thanks
gonna go
for the fun fact.
with. So there you go. We're looking. That's a great question, Diane. We got quite the variety from dolphins to monkeys, white fox, panthers, wolf, elephants, otters. Oh yeah, otters are cool.
Yeah.
Alpaca, cheetahs, a white tiger, Tiger King, Carol Baskin, sugar glider, skunks live in your backyard. Well, there you go, Megan. A fox. So very cool. All right. Well, thank you so much, Diane, for being today's assistant instructor. As we know now, because we're now in week 2, Diane's the only person who can interrupt me if someone's raising their hand or putting something in the chat box. She can just say, "Hey, Eric, so and so wants to say something," and feel free to jump in. Other than that, we'll go ahead and get started with today's lesson. How's sound good? All right. I guess I was going to say, it doesn't matter if it sounds good or bad because it's going to happen inevitably. So you can go ahead and go off camera if you would like. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I'm going to ask a chat box question. Go ahead and populate the chat box for me. How many emails does the average professional field in one day? What do you guys think in the chat box? Let's see here what we got going. I'm seeing anywhere from as low as 10, some as high as 150, as 200, 100, 65, 50 to 100, 20 plus. All right, let me go to a follow-up question just so we're on the same page. When I say like how many emails does the average professional field, that's like how many do they actually have to do something with? I'm not talking spam. I'm talking like I need to either respond to this or forward this to someone or take an action on this. How many do you need to do in a day? Like you get an email that requires you to do something other than press delete. All right. Man, everyone is way off. So the average professional, and this is not help desk is probably more. The average professional that's working in the corporate world, the average emails that person receives that they have to field in one day, like it requires them to do something, either respond, forward, or action on. Drum roll, please. 120 emails per day. Take a moment to sit with that. We're going to talk about how come here in a moment. So how many hours does the average professional spend on email per day? Now it's time to use some of those critical thinking skills. So if you're going to spend time fielding as in responding to 120 emails a day, how many hours of your workday are you spending fielding those emails? So I'm seeing 2 to 4, 5. Looks like you guys got a good flow going here. 2.6 hours a day is how long the average professional spends in their email. 32% of their workday. Yeah, makes pretty much sense for me. And to Sean's point, 120 is not a lot for 8 hours. I mean, this morning before class, I spent probably an hour doing 30 emails. And most of those emails were, yes, that sounds good, or I look forward to that as well, or thank you for this. Here's some more clarity. Those emails take 15 seconds to do. They're not that big of a deal. Amir?
Yeah, I had a quick question. So when you say in their work day, that means like by 5, right? So are they expected to respond to their emails past that point?
That's a really great question. Depends on a lot of variables. The first one depends on the company that you work for, the manager that you have, the type of work that you do. And even if you're the type of person that says, I'll open up my email after 5 p.m. and look at it. So I think I shared this the first day. I personally do not look at email in evenings or weekends because I don't have a reason to. But if you have a job where you're working, let's say you're working as a people manager, right? And your direct report, emails you at 9 p.m. like, I'm not going to be at work tomorrow, I'm sick. Like, you probably should know that before 8 a.m. the next morning or 9 a.m. the next morning when you start your work day. I'm not a people manager, so I don't need to know that. But if you are, it probably would be helpful to have that. So some people I know, they have email on their phone. They get emails all day, every day. They respond to emails within seconds when you send them to them. I personally don't like living my life that way. I don't want to have a leash and have this thing next to me all the time. So I do not check emails in the evenings. 5 p.m. I shut down my computer and I do not work again till the next morning at 9. But I had times in my career where I was on call 24/7, and it depends on what job you have, what company you work for, and what boss you have. When I was doing consulting, my biggest client was Salesforce.com. And one of the things that I was always amazed was how much they worked in the company, like a lot of big tech companies. And I was talking to one of the senior leaders there. She told me that she tells her team, listen, you need to be online from 8:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday in your time zone. Okay. So if you're in New York and your boss is in California and your boss emails you at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. New York time, she's not expecting you to write back until the next morning at 8:30 a.m. when you log back in. And that's a good boss. You want to work for someone that has that attitude because they want you to have a life outside of work, hopefully. So to answer your question, depends on the job, it depends on your manager, and depends on how you work as well as a person. Is that helpful, Amir?
Yeah, it was. Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome. All right, not related to email, but how many hours does the average professional spend in meetings per day? I see 1 to 3 hours. Gosh, I'm just gonna blow your minds today, guys. I just hate to do this, but there you go. 5 hours a day, the average professional spends in a meeting. All right. Yep. And I mean, that's true. I mean, I think about look at my work day today. I mean, this is a meeting right now, right? I'm not doing grading. I'm not doing lesson planning. I'm not, preparing for a class with all of you. I'm in a meeting, and I'll be in another meeting at 12. I'll be in another meeting at 3. I'll be in another meeting at 4. And today's only 4 hours of meetings for me. It's a pretty light day because we didn't have a Monday morning kickoff today. So normally I have 7 hours of meetings on Mondays, but then tomorrow, Tuesday, I only have 3 hours of meetings. So 5 hours, it shakes out to be about that. But yes, this counts as a meeting. Anytime you're with people in a room together, having a conversation about work, that's a meeting. All right. That's one-on-one meetings. That's large group meetings. That's seminars that your company does. That's considered a meeting. It's like basically not doing like head down actual work. It's just having a meeting. All right. That being said, you spend 7 hours and 30 minutes a day, either on email or in meetings on average. All right. So why is having an email and calendar management critical to your success? For this one, let's go ahead and raise your hand and I'll call on you. Amir?
Well, considering your workday is usually 8-9 hours, and that's 95% of it is going to be on your email or during your meeting, you need to schedule those and know everything that's going to happen through your calendar and through your email at all times, because that's the majority of your day, majority of your responsibilities.
Absolutely. Just to know when things are happening. And one of the things that I'm glad you said, and I don't do this and I should start, is some people actually block out time for email. So for some professionals, it's like 11 to 12, I look at email, and 4 to 5, I look at email. And that's the only time they'll look at it all day. So they're not spending the whole entire day just looking at email. Joshua, I saw your hand next.
Yeah. So I was gonna say was that based off my experience, that if somebody sends you an email and you don't reply to it during a certain time or get to it at all, whatever tasks that they had to do that required you to respond to it, they're not gonna be able to get to. So it ends up either slowing down either the workforce or whatever task that had to be completed.
Absolutely. Yes, you're 100% right. If someone sends you an email that they need you to do something and you don't respond to it or you ignore it, then that's causing them stress because then they can't do what they need to do as a result, for sure. Yeah, Alan.
Good morning, it's Alan. I think to play more so to the personal level, just your overall sanity. You're sitting at a screen looking at your Outlook or Gmail, whatever email service you use for your company, or just sitting in a meeting literally all day talking about something that could have been summed up in like an hour. It's really going to ruin your day if you're not prepared for all these things to come up. If you're like scrambling, it's like, oh wait, I had an email to send. Oh wait, I have this meeting in 5 minutes. I can't send this email, but this email is time critical. It's really just going to ruin your mood throughout the day.
Yes, absolutely, Alan. That's why I'm a big fan, and I actually have it on my calendar from 8:30 to 9 every day. I call it preparation time, and that's when I can kind of get my mental map of what do I have to do today. Like, is it a meeting heavy day? Is it an email heavy day? When do I have time to do other work that I need to accomplish? Am I going to be able to do it today or tomorrow? And just being prepared and knowing what you're walking into at 8:30 in the morning is a lot better, to Alan's point, which is a great point, than spending your whole entire day, stressed out because you're going from meeting to meeting, email to email. You want to be proactive. You want to dominate your day, not let your day dominate you. And I find that taking some time, not a lot, 15 minutes is probably plenty, just to get a framework of what's going to happen that day will help your day be a lot better. One thing that I didn't include in the deck, but I do want to have a quick chat about, is a lot of your jobs are going to be email heavy, of course, but there's also other tools that you'll use, like Slack or like GChat, which is a Google chat feature. You might use Skype chat to coordinate with people for like quick, conversations. So like, for example, Alan just spoke. Imagine me and Alan are working on a project together and I need Alan to send me the notes from a meeting. All right. And I need that quickly. I might just send him a quick ping. That's what I typically call in the corporate world. Hey, Alan, when you get 15 seconds, send me those notes from our last meeting, and boom, he sends them over to me, and I have them. So the reason I would do it that way as opposed to an email is because an email, it gives you a sense of like, I have some time to get to this. It's not super sensitive, time sensitive, whereas a ping is like, I need it, pretty quickly. So one of the things that you'll have to learn as a professional is like what constitutes an email and what constitutes like a Slack message or a ping, as opposed to a long form message. So we'll talk more about that as time goes, but just want to put that in your ear now. And Izzy, I see your hand.
Yeah. Good morning. I was just wondering, would you recommend creating a new email, or would like companies acquire you with an email themselves?
Yeah, great question. So when you get a new job, the company will provide an email to you. And that's what you'll be using for your professional, correspondence. I would really encourage you not to have your personal email for work-related matters for a variety of reasons, but primarily just for like the sensitivity of the content. In the event something happened where it's like, oh, I never got that email, or I never knew that was required of me, you can go back and look, in your paper trail of your work email. But yes, I don't do any professional email on my personal account because I just want to keep those things as separate as possible. And I also get personal emails on my phone, but I do not get work email on my phone. I just don't. I would just drive myself nuts if I had that. So I don't just choose not to do it. So, but I do have Slack on my phone, so in case someone to get me urgently from work, I'm available. But like every day around lunchtime, like I'll go to the gym in my office building, or I'll go for a bike ride on Randall's Island, or I'll just even go for a short walk and get a coffee, and like for 30 minutes to an hour. And I have Slack if someone needs to really get a hold of me, but I don't look at email during that time because I just want to use that time for myself. So it's a really good question, Izzy, and I would really encourage all of us to make sure we keep our personal email and professional email separate as much as possible. All right. I know for some of you guys, this might be a little bit redundant, but for those of you who are not super familiar with email, you receive an email, all right, 120 a day. What do you do with it? Really, you have three options. You can save that email. So if you have an opportunity, if it's like a big memo, let's suppose the CEO sends out a memo for the whole staff. There's nothing in there that's particularly important to you, but it'd be helpful to have just in case you have to refer back to it later. So you just save it. And I'll share about how to do that a little bit later on this week. And of course, you can respond. So someone sends you a personalized email that words a response. You can respond it. Or the last thing you can do, if it's something you don't need, if it's like a commercial or an advertisement or just spam, you just delete it. I'm a big fan of what's called inbox zero. So actually at the end of every single workday, I zero out my inbox so that I don't have any emails sitting in my inbox, because I just find that if I have dozens, if not hundreds of emails in my inbox, it just causes me stress. So I always zero out my inbox at the end of every day. Not everyone works that way. I understand that, but I'm a big fan of that. So that's something I would encourage you to try if that's helpful for you as well. Yeah, Amir.
Do you delete them, or do you put them in your archive?
So what I do is I'll demo this later on this week, but depending on the nature of the email, I'll move it to a different folder. So for example, like if you email me, Amir, and ask me a question, I would write back to you, and then I would move it to student messages. And then if I get an email from my coworker, Kachun, on the academic team, I write back to him, then I move it to academics. I get an email from the CEO giving an announcement, I move it to announcements. And I'll break it all down later. But the reason why I don't delete anything that's important is like what would happen if I had to refer back to that, a month from now. I have it there. The only things I delete are like things that are clearly spam, or I know I'm never going to have to look at this ever again. Then I delete it. Otherwise, I put it in its own folder. Good question.
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Gosh, we're just talking about how much we love the spring, and now I'm like sitting here and I can't even breathe through my nose because of allergies. So that's the one thing about the spring that I'm not crazy about. So I apologize if I sound nasally. For those of you who are proficient in email, raise your hand and explain what CC and BCC means. and why would you use them? Anybody have a clue? Let's hear from Davian.
Morning, Eric. I believe CC is just like mentioning someone within the email just so they could see what's going on, but it doesn't necessarily pertain to them like in terms of importance. And then BCC is like mentioning them in the email, but no one can actually see that they're there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's right. So do you know what CC and BCC stand for, Davian, or not sure?
No, I'm not too sure.
Oh, it's okay. So it stands for carbon copy and blind carbon copy. So you hit the nail on the head, Davian. So if Davian's emailing me and he thinks that Miguel should see what we're talking about, but Miguel doesn't have to action on anything, he would CC Miguel. He would say, hey, Eric, I want to talk about today's class. You know, Miguel and I had this good idea, and I wanted to hear your thoughts on it. He would CC him. You would use BCC. The only time that I ever use it in my professional life is if I'm sending out a mass email. So most of you should have received, all of you should have received the email I sent out Friday. That's what I do every single week for my students. It's an opportunity just to say goodbye for the week and wish you all a great weekend. And I do that as a BCC because the reason I do it that way is not because people's emails are private. They're not private, obviously. You can all access each other's information. But if I did a CC or a to, then if you could reply all to me, and then everyone would receive that email, and honestly, it would just be kind of annoying, right? There's 40 plus people in here. You don't have to reply all and all, catch up about, something as simple as just these are the deliverables due for the week. So to is like, this is directed to you specifically. CC is, you need to be included on this, but there's nothing that you really need to take action on. Just it's an FYI. And BCC is nobody knows this email is going to you. I'm just, sending it out. And we're shielding our emails. BCC is also good if you do want to protect the emails of other people. So if you're sending out a mass email to 10, 20, 30, 50 people, I personally do not like to be CC'd on those or to those because it turns into a long email thread that's really annoying to, get tangled in. So BCC is a better option when it comes to that. Any questions on those three things and what they mean? Okay, I know a lot of you have done this before, so it's not necessarily new. So we're gonna spend a good amount of time today talking about, oh yeah, and Claire, please.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi, I have a quick question. What exactly is an archive and what is it used for?
Yeah, really good question. So archive can be used as a similar way to look at that is like as a trash can on like a desktop. You're getting rid of this email. You don't have a reason to look at it any longer, and you're going to just go ahead and get rid of it. So you just archive it. Depending on what program you have in Claire, some programs like keep archives forever. Some delete them after 4 months. I know Outlook for the Europe server, if you archive an email 4 months later, it's gone. But other servers like my personal Gmail, I'll archive an email and I'll go back 2 years later and it's still there. So it depends on what server you're using, and everyone's a little bit different. But look at it as like the trash can for your email.
Thank you.
Is that helpful? You're welcome. All right. Signatures, a really important part of your professional brand is making sure that you have a signature that represents who you are as a person and has information about your function, how to contact you, and the organization that you work for. So I'm going to share with you guys some of the Europe signatures, and I'd be interested in seeing what you guys find interesting about them or how we can talk about them. Before we do, yeah, Matthew, you have a question?
Yeah, so we did this prior to starting instruction. Is it okay if I share my screen to show the signature, or would you like to do that?
I'm going to share a few, but I'm glad that you raised that. So what we'll do if you've already done this is maybe there'll be something you want to add or take away, but I'm going to call on you, Matthew, in like 5 minutes to share. Is that okay?
No problem.
Thank you. So like here's Jesus. You all know who Jesus is. He's the director of admissions, associate director of admissions. Go ahead and raise your hand and show me something about his signature that you think is interesting or helpful that maybe you'd want to apply to yours. Yeah, Jason.
I have kind of the same format, but his phone number is something that I'm gonna put in mine. Does it matter if it's our phone number because we don't have office numbers like that? Question.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. So this is the thing with my signatures. I don't have a phone number because it's my personal cell phone. So I don't have an office phone because I'm working remote. So I actually don't put my phone number in my signature. But that's up to you and your discretion. If you want to do that, you could. But honestly, I get enough spam calls as it is. I don't want to get more. So I don't put my phone number in mine, but that's completely up to you. Yeah, Eli.
I like how he has the anytime 360 feedback, like the little logo. That's interesting. So everybody knows he's available.
Yes, exactly. That is one of the things that I think is really great. Well, I'm back one. Sorry about that. Yeah, so if you want to give him feedback, I mean, you could click on that. That's a hyperlink. We'll talk about those later on this week as well. And you can give him feedback. Europe has a big feedback culture. You all had your first feedback Friday on Friday, so you know how we do feedback. And he's giving you the opportunity to give him feedback at any time, which I think is great. Good observation. And Claire?
I like how he has his job title underneath his name so that whomever needs to get in contact with him, you know exactly what you're getting in contact with him about, or there's like no confusion. You know what role he plays there.
Totally. I love that, and Claire, great observation. It's like, yeah, Jesus, I talked to him one time. What does he do again? You go and look at his email. Oh yeah, he's Associate Director of Admissions and College Enrollment. Very helpful, very important that you have that. Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, I like how he's using different colors to differentiate between the messages and his signature.
Yes, I'm really glad you brought that up, because here's the thing that I'm sure you've learned about when you did this the first time, is you want to stay on brand of the colors of Europe, which are that blue and yellow color. Here I'll go to Kachoons next, because you don't want to have like black and green and pink and orange. Those aren't the Europe colors. You want to stay on brand of the company that you work for. So that's why if you look at Kachoons here, similar font, similar color. Anything about his that you find interesting that's different than Jesus's? Eduardo?
All the way at the bottom, green text, he has, please consider the environment before printing this email. That would be onto like his brand. I guess Kachoon is very passionate about the environment.
Yes, he certainly is. And I think that's one of the cool things about his email is that he includes that. And so I guess it gives you some intel on who Kachoon is as a person. Like, basically he's saying, don't print this email. Like you have it here on the device, save the planet, save the trees. So yeah, please consider the environment. I love that he does that. Yes, Kayla?
He also has his like preferred pronouns. I like that as well.
Yeah, some staff do that. If you click on the hyperlink, we can't do that now. This is just an image, but that'll talk about why we use preferred pronouns here at Europe. But he does that for him, which I think is helpful for people. Henry?
I like that in the yellow text, he wrote like Europe's mission, empowering urban talent to reach their potential. It's like shows what his company's mission.
Yes, I noticed that as well, Henry. I think that's really great. Gives you the opportunity to know what's Europe's mission statement, where do we stand for as an organization. I love that. Joshua, what would you add?
In his email, I'm not sure if it was the same with Jesus, but in his the address is linked, I guess, to a Google map. So if people need to figure out how to get there, they could just click the link and then it'll show them a map, so, like instructions.
Yeah, absolutely. So for people who want to meet with him in person, instead of like going back and saying, "Oh, where's your office again?" It's right there in the email signature. You can click on it and find it, and it's linked, to Google Maps. Kayla, did you have another observation?
No, I'm sorry. I just forgot to lower my hand.
No problem. So some of you know Kara. What do you know about Kara's signature? That's different from Jesus's and Kachun's. Yeah, Kayla.
She has her links to like her social medias and like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad you made that observation. I bet if we clicked on those, it would probably link to Year Up's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And that's just a way that she can, be social on her email. People who are interested in learning more. I like that she does that as well. Amir?
Something I was going to bring up, even without seeing this, because I noticed this when I email Kara as well, and I really like that she does best Kara in her signature. I would assume, you manually type it every time, but she actually puts at the beginning of the signature to end her emails.
Yes, she does. It saves her the trouble of typing for sure. Yep, whatever her sign off wants to be, for sure. Last one, then we're going to go to our next part. And here's Malik. Some of you know who Malik is. What do you know about his? Eduardo?
Right at the bottom, there's a great professional photo of him. I think that's really great.
Agreed. I like that as well. It catches your eye. It shows, a young man standing in what looks like downtown Manhattan, wearing a suit, like looking ready to take on the world. I love that picture. So that's a really good point. It's a great photo. Absolutely. I believe that's on our landing page of our Europe site as well. Pretty sure. So that's going back to the branding piece. Desmond.
I noticed that it's more simple compared to the two the two you show us, but it still have the basic information that needed to be in there. That's what I noticed.
Yes, it's very simple. It's basic. Yep, for sure. It's clean. Once again, going back to, he knows how he uses the same font, the same, the same colors. He stays on brand. That's really important. You're going to be submitting a screenshot of your email signature for this class. And I sometimes have to dock points from people because they put things in the wrong color, the wrong font. So make sure that you stay consistent with that. Kayla?
Sorry, I forgot to lower my hand.
It's all right. And Claire?
I like how just like Jesus, he has his role with his signature, so you know that he is the program manager. So you know that he is he's the go-to person for anything pertaining to a program, the courses, and you know that because it's in his signature.
Yes, exactly. So very similar to Jesus, okay, this is what this person's function is. That's really important. All right, so let's go ahead and was it Matthew? When you get a moment, can you pull up your screen and show us actually how do you make an email signature for those who are like, maybe missed that part of pre-orientation to help us get prepared for that? You can go ahead and pull that up on your Outlook.
Yeah, I got you. Go here to share screen. Share screen. We're good here.
Yep.
All right. Hello. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
All right. So right here, this is the Outlook email. So what you'll do, you'll go to settings, and then you'll go to view all Outlook settings. Then under mail here, where it says compose and reply, you click on that, and then it'll bring up this email signature prompt right here. And this is where you'll type it in. The one takeaway that I like that Amir brought up, and I've seen this on Kara's email, is the best Kara. I feel like I would like to add that to mine personally, just save some time rather than typing it out. This was the basic structure, your name. I'm a year participant. I put I'm in Europe. This is the address for it, and then this is the number for the Europe facility. And another thing too, right here, where it automatically includes the signature. So rather than me having to type this all out, I'd click both of these boxes here to check. So this way, when I either reply to someone's email or I'm composing my own to email someone, it'll just automatically be there, and I can just show that real quick. So if I click new message, it automatically pops up right here, my signature.
Yep, it's automatically there. It's perfect, Matthew. Before you stop sharing your screen, one more time, can you just demo to us, like you have Outlook pulled up, how do you go back to your email signature just so people can see it for those who are a little bit confused?
All right, so right here, the three lines. I'll go right here to settings. Go to the bottom where it's view Outlook settings. Right under mail. Then you go to compose and reply, and it'll bring up the email signature.
Awesome. And one more thing before you stop, Matthew, this is perfect. I want to make sure that everyone's clear. You are a Europe participant. Okay, you're not a Europe student. Sometimes people put, I'm a Europe student. That's not what you are. This is not school. This is workforce development. You're a participant in the program. So what he has there, name, it's the Europe colors, it's on brand, the Europe location. And then he said he wants to add for his, like signing off. So that's one less step he has to do when he emails. Thank you, Matthew, for showing that. You can go ahead and stop sharing your screen.
No problem.
So let's go ahead and do this. First of all, any questions on how to create your signature? I know some of you have already done this. So if you wanted to go ahead and update it, you can update it during this time. But I just wanted to make sure that there are any questions that I can answer for you before we provide some space to do that. Audrey, I saw your hand first.
When you put the signature, does it automatically, like when you type an email, does it automatically appear there, or you hit to click like save or something?
It automatically appears there. That's the nice thing about an email signature, is that once you do it once, what Matthew just modeled, it will be there every single time that you compose an email. So let me just go ahead and I'll share my screen so you have an idea of what like mine looks like. So let me go ahead and get this on here. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So if I go ahead and press new email, see, it's already there. My name, my title, the Europe offices, and the Europe mission statement. I don't have to type anything in. I've already done it automatically. Good question. And Claire?
Do you want our signature to be in the same format that Matthew's signature was like? So blue, bold, our name, and then underneath it says Europe participant and all that jazz. Is that what you're looking for?
As long as you have the Europe font and the Europe colors, you can be creative and put whatever you want underneath there, but but as long as you have those two things in place, but your name and your participant should both be there. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Davian?
You kind of answered my question with Claire's. I was gonna ask if we'd be able to like put our LinkedIn and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course, you can be creative there. And what I do, Megan, this is my little life hack. For those who don't know what font to use, just go to someone else's, like one of the staff members that you like their signature, and we can just grab it and then copy it, and then go up here. Go ahead and lower this. Options. Where is it over here? Email signature, and you just paste it into there. And to go back to Matthew's point earlier, make sure that you tick this box to Audrey's question, automatically including my signature. But what I do is just copy and paste it. And then that way I know I have the right one. I don't even know what font it is, to be totally transparent with you. If someone does, you can put it in the chat box. Davian, or do you have another question?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, how do we go about adding the link to our socials and stuff like that?
Yeah. Does anybody know how to do that? They can model that for Davian. How do you add the link to your social media? All right, I'll go ahead and share it quick. Go ahead and share my screen. So I don't have my my LinkedIn online, but I'll go ahead and add it. So here's my LinkedIn. I'll go ahead and my profile. So I'm going to copy the link to my profile, and I'm going to go here. Follow me on LinkedIn. Grab it, right click. No, that's not going to do insert hyperlink, insert copy paste. There you go. So now when you click on that, that'll take you to LinkedIn, to my account. If you want to do that, in order to do it with the actual graphics, like what Malik had, you'd have to like copy and paste his. I'm not totally sure how to do that, but if you wanted to, you could do that as well. And Claire?
Hi. So this is kind of like a two-part question. So you guys mentioned LinkedIn a lot. So my question is, what's the difference between using LinkedIn versus using Indeed? And as Year Up participants, do we need to create a LinkedIn account?
Good question. So Indeed is a job searching browser, like it's like Googling jobs. Indeed is kind of like your professional Facebook. You will be creating a LinkedIn account during your time here at Year Up. It won't be until a little bit later on. So like, here's my LinkedIn. So as you can see, it kind of looks like Facebook. Like there's my profile picture, there's my title, here's my about section, here's all the places I've worked in my career, here's my education, here's the skills that I have, so on it goes, right? You don't have to worry about making a LinkedIn right now. If you already have one, that's great. Like here's an example. This was one of the students from class 29. Like he's now at Amex as his internship. You know, class 29, IT student, you know, here's what he's been doing, his jobs, his school, what have you. So I would not worry about making a LinkedIn right now if you don't already have one, but I would encourage you not to use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok on your professional email, because those are not professional platforms. You only want to use a professional platform like LinkedIn in your email.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's do this. 11:13. I'm going to give you all 10 minutes. Go ahead and adjust your signature as you would please, and then we'll come back for the last part of today's class. See you guys in 10 minutes. About 10 more seconds. Is there somebody who saw an email signature that just made you cry because it was such a beautiful email signature? You were so inspired. It changed your life. Daniel, you saw one. Whose email signature was so transformative to your life?
Oh man. Sabrina, her email signature was amazing. Kind of blew me back.
All right, Sabrina. We all want to be blown away. But
He's
email
lying.
She's lying. What? I want to see it now. We're all...
Daniel.
You don't want to share yours?
I mean, I could share, but it's literally nothing. It's basic. I'm just trying to add my signature to it. But Daniel, stop lying, man. Come on.
All right, we won't make you share if you'd rather not. Okay, all right. Go ahead and pull it up. Let's go ahead and take a look. We can all judge if we're blown away or not.
Okay.
The anticipation.
Okay, there we go. It's literally so basic.
No, this works.
But I was thinking about adding my signature, like a transparent PNG of my signature right underneath. I think that would add a cool touch to it, but that's pretty much it.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing, Sabrina. Make sure you tick that box that says automatically include my signature. But yeah, perfect. And see what she did there. She put best Sabrina. So that's one less thing for her to write when she's composing her emails. Thanks, Sabrina.
Thank you.
All right, Tagrul, whose email signature did you want to nominate to show to the whole group?
So I just thought I was in the same group with Eli, and he also had a Mac, and he's using the application version of the all the Microsoft programs.
Okay.
And it's very good, and it's kind of different than the online version. So he learned by himself how to do it on an application, how to create all the things. So it's very good, yeah, to know. if you want, I can just share to show the guys also how to download the application, or they can go just Apple Store and download the application version of the Microsoft all programs, and it's also very good and handful to use it.
Great, that's really helpful to hear. Awesome, thank you so much.
Thanks for Eli also.
And did Eli want to share his signature?
Mine is regular, but if you want to, I can.
Yeah, it might be good to see another view as well if you're using a Mac, for those who have Macs.
Yeah, here's mine. That's what mine looks like.
Nice, there you go. So he has his name, what is he, a year participant, what organization, everything is good there. And it might just be the like the screen, but is that like the right colors, or is that, it looks kind of like more like an aqua blue, but that's the one that other people were using as well?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's probably just a an issue with my screen then. Perfect. Thanks, Eli.
All right.
All right, I believe Jason's hand was next.
I was realizing when we were reading Deliverable, what kind of fonts are Europe looking for?
Yeah, so I think someone mentioned it earlier. What did we say the font was?
He said it was Verdana.
Verdana. Okay, thanks. See, what I do is just a lazy version. I just copy and paste someone else's and just put it in mine. But I just like don't want you to go and like have some weird like cursive font that says year participant. That's hard to read, but that's what we're looking for. Yep, good question. Yes, Melvin.
I was gonna share my signature.
Oh, you're self-nominating yourself.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well this better be good.
I mean, this is decent. This also on the Outlook app thing.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, this is good to see this.
Is really just the simple thing, and I added LinkedIn. Link.
Oh, look at you. Okay. So now someone can click on that and see your LinkedIn profile.
Yep.
Great. All right. All right. I see you. All right. Desmond.
I was volunteering to share.
You're going to share your own as well?
Is that okay?
Is it as good as Melvin's?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, it is. All right. We got a big talker here. Let's see what we got.
Can you see it?
Nope, I don't see anything. Oh, here it comes. All right.
Is it right? I'm gonna share.
Yeah. Oh, so you did all the social medias as well?
Huh?
I see the social media.
Yes, I did that. I did the thing where you told us we could just copy and paste if we like a staff format, we could copy and paste it and use it. And I actually like one staff format, and I did it, and I put my my code right here, and I put the information, name, and that's it.
Great. There you go. Love it. All right. Thank you, Desmond. Anybody else want to share before we move on to deliverables and next steps? All right. So just for clarity's sake, I know that it's our second week. We're still figuring things out. What I believe someone mentioned earlier, if I don't recall who it was, I apologize. Jason said he looked at the rubric. This is the rubric. So when you submit your deliverable, your name, your title, your contact are all there. Your year, colors, and fonts, and it's easy to read. These are the things I'm looking for when I'm grading your deliverable. All right. And since Matthew shared earlier, we're going to look at his. He already submitted his, even though it's not due till Thursday. I appreciate you submitting it early. So look at him. He has a screenshot. And what does he have? He has his name, his title, year participant, his contact, the address of Europe. It's Europe colors and fonts. It's easy to read. Congratulations, Matthew. You got 100%, just like that. All right. So just make sure you follow the rubric and you are good to go. All right. So with that being said, yes, Audrey.
Do you have to put a phone number?
We do not, no. But you should at least have like the address of Europe. All right. Any other questions about email signatures before we talk about deliverables? Going once, going twice. Who would know you had so much fun talking about email signatures, huh? Not me. And Claire.
I have a question. If we're remote, why does the address matter?
Yeah, really good question because if you're sending an email out to somebody and they see you work for Europe Inc., they're like, oh, what's Europe Inc.? Where's it located? Is this a legit business? If I received an email from someone and it said, Grapefruit Incorporated, and there was no address and no phone number, I'd be like, yeah, I don't really trust this. This looks like spam. By giving that, it's an extra layer of this is a legit institution. You also don't want to put your home address for a variety of reasons, your personal safety, but then also what is this, a home business? I don't really trust this. It's just an extra layer of this is a legit source of information. Here's the name of my company. Here's the location we are. You can go ahead and Google it. You'll see it. It's just an extra layer of looking legitimate. It's a really good question, and Claire, thank you so much for asking.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Diane, are you here?
Yeah.
All right, hopefully that your assistant instructor duties were not too much work for you today. Thank you so much for being a great AI. Go ahead and read this week's deliverables.
Watch how to tame your inbox video and write 5 takeaways in discussion board due at 11:59 p.m. tomorrow. Respond to 2 people's posts by Thursday at 11:59 p.m. Create your own email signature and screenshot and submit on Schoology by 11:59 Thursday night.
Thank you, Diane. Those are the deliverables. And just to give you a fair warning, the How to Tame Your Inbox video is about 40 minutes long. All right. Some people are like, oh my gosh, it's so long, way too long. And I'm like, come on now. You watch a TV show that long, you watch a movie that long, you play video games that long. Remember this slide in the PowerPoint deck? They said you spend 7 hours a workday on email and meetings. I think you can give 40 minutes to learn how to do it properly. Can we all agree? Yes, I see you guys nodding. Okay, so I don't want to hear, oh my gosh, it's so long. I'm telling you now, you have till the end of the day tomorrow to watch it and share and report out. For those of you who want to stay on top of your deliverables, I would encourage you, do it now as early as possible and respond to people as early as possible. And then boom, you're done. All right. And for those of you who already have your email signature done, I'm letting you go 2 minutes early. I'm gonna let you go in 30 seconds. You can go ahead and upload it right now and then you're done. And look at that. Intro to Computers, deliverables done by Monday at midnight. You're amazing. And then you can worry about your other classes. Not so bad, right? So those are your deliverables. Knock them out. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you tomorrow at 9.
Have a good one, everybody.
Have a good day.
Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm stretching. Yes, Lauren.
Oh,
Hi,
wait, I do
yeah.
have a question.
Oh yeah, for the Zoom link for a 12-hour meeting, is there going to be a Zoom link?
Yeah, it's actually this Zoom link. Yep. It should be in the email invitation.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah, if you even wanted, if you look at the welcome to the AV team, there should be a link that says like it's this one. If you want to, you can even just stay on this, Lauren.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, Izzy.
I just wanted to ask, so you asked us to respond to 2 people's posts, right? I just wanted to ask, what is that preparing us for?
What is that preparing you for?
Yeah.
So what we have 45 people in this class. If you notice, probably the same 8 or 10 people speak every single class. I have no way of gauging the other 30 people that never talk on how they're engaging the content and how they're thinking about it critically. That provides the opportunity for me to not just to see I'm watching a video and giving pat answers, but I'm thinking critically through what other people are thinking when it comes to the content. So that's why I do those discussion boards. Yeah, it's a good question because I mean it could certainly feel like is this just busy work, but it's not. It's the only way that I can tell people, hey, Izzy has a really good way of engaging with the content in a helpful way, preparing him for the internship. I mean, you are someone who speaks in class, but for the 30 people that don't, someone says, oh, is this person ready for internship? Right, how would I ever know if they don't never see how they work, right?
Okay, I understand that. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Of course. Yeah, good question. Yeah, Audrey.
If you want to put LinkedIn in the email, sorry, in the signature. Do you have to like create a LinkedIn with the Europe email, or you can put the one with your email? Because I have one already, but it's with my email.
Yeah, really good question. You can use your own personal email. That's fine.
Thank you.
Yep. Renee, Tagrul, Saku, Kayla, any questions?
Yeah, I sent you an email. I mean, I sent you a message to, all right, you sent it already. So I'll be emailing everything I have to catch up on. I was just sick the other days.
Okay, no problem. And Kayla? All right, I guess Kayla's not here.